It's April 5th. I'm Ezra Levant, and you're watching Battleground. Hello, my rebels. Ezra Levant here. I'm the Rebel Commander here at TheRebel.media. Every Friday, I like to do a 1-hour super chat. You know what that is. It's basically a live chat. I look at the comments on the right of the screen. If you want to have yours stand out, you can chip in a few dollars, quid, pesos, kroner, or other currency of your choosing. I've even seen rupees and rubles, I think. Rupees for sure. That puts your comment in a bright highlighted color. I see it out of the corner of my eye, and I do my best to read those. The good news about those is that YouTube lets us keep 70% of the revenue, so it helps us out, and I'm grateful to you. What I like to do on these shows is have a bit of a free-flowing conversation, not as produced as my nightly TV show is, which comes on at 8 p.m. It's basically odds and ends that I like to look at, including some fun videos. And I like to be directed by the interest at shown by the comments. For example, one just hopped out at me by Elaine. Hey, Ezra, what's the plan for Tommy? And that is one of the things I wanted to talk about today. As you know, Tommy Robinson used to... here's what I'm going to talk about today. I'm going to come back to Tommy in a minute because it's on my mind. I want to show Justin Trudeau's male feminist meltdown. I want to show Joe Biden's male feminist meltdown, and they are related, and I'll tell you how. I want to show you a fun encounter our reporter in Calgary, Alberta, had on the street with Anne McGrath, who is running for the NDP in that city, but was a communist and ran for the Communist Party in the 80s. And I want to show you a fun encounter. It's fun to watch because it's harmless, but she meant it to be harmful. She literally called 911. We asked her questions about being a communist, which she is. And instead of ignoring our person or walking away or answering or swearing at him, I don't know what you want to do, she called 911. And the police came. It's a hell of a video. I'll show it to you a little bit later. But I do want to talk about Tommy Robinson because some people said, hey, Ezra, what's up with Tommy? And as you know, Tommy Robinson used to work for The Rebel. He worked for us for about a year. And then he went independent, and within 3 months he was thrown in jail for contempt of court, and we stepped up to help him crowdfund, and we did journalism about his case. But he did not rejoin The Rebel. He doesn't work for us, and we don't work for him. We're friends of his, and I saw him, in fact, just a couple weeks ago in London. But he has been slowly amputated. I think first to go was Twitter, then PayPal, then Facebook, then Instagram, then Snapchat. He's on YouTube, but in the most throttled way possible. He's essentially banned from YouTube. I want to show you, because I subscribe to Tommy's YouTube channel, and I went to YouTube, and Justin, can you follow along on the computer screen while I sort of narrate? So just go to YouTube and go up to the search bar. Scroll up a little bit there so we can see, and just type in Tommy Robinson or Tommy Robinson channel. Just type in Tommy Robinson, and you'll see Tommy Robinson comes up. There's tons of Tommy content, but none of it is his. Scroll down. So you'll see all the criticisms of Tommy. You'll see his appearance on Fox News. That's a positive portrayal of him. But you'll see, I can see the Tommy Robinson speech there. That was a pirated version on someone else's channel. But everything else from Tommy himself has been deleted. I actually don't see Rebel videos there. I wonder if the Rebel videos of Tommy have been stripped as well. Now go back up and type Tommy Robinson channel in the search bar. Tommy Robinson channel. Now click on that. You see it says Tommy Robinson live stream channel. That is not Tommy Robinson's real account. You click on it and just see what happens. Yeah, so I don't even know what that is. That's Patriot News Channel. That may be a video Tommy did, but that is not his channel. That's just someone who in the last few days or so, or last few weeks, took a Tommy live stream and put it up there. As you can see, and I won't belabor the point, you cannot find Tommy Robinson's channel, but I tell you it exists, and here's how I find it. I'm a subscriber to it. Do you see, go to the left-hand side there, and you see it says subscriptions. So these are the various accounts that we follow here. We're curious about other accounts, so we scroll down, and because we are a pre-existing Tommy Robinson subscriber, we can still find him there. And I see it, a little bit further down. So click on Tommy Robinson. And this is Tommy's real channel. And you can see it's got the little check mark next to his name, verified. But did you see, as my friend Justin, our producer, demonstrated as I narrated, that you cannot find this if you don't already have a subscription. We typed in Tommy Robinson, we typed in Tommy Robinson channel. This did not come up. A fake, I'm not even going to call it hostile, just sort of like almost a tribute page with one video on it showed up. Now, click on videos, click on the button for videos there. So you can see that Tommy's videos are still up here, but just pick one of them. There's a charity one there. Just pick it for example. You see that one? Fundraiser for a charity. Okay, so hold here for a second. So this is called Fundraiser for a Children's Cancer Charity. And do you see what you see here? The following content has been identified by the YouTube community as inappropriate or offensive to some audiences. Really, it was a cancer charity talk. I understand and agree to proceed. Okay, go down, don't click on it yet. And you'll notice there's no view count there. There's no likes, there's no contents. And what does it say underneath there? Certain features have been disabled for this video. And can you pump up the size of this just so we can see it a little more easily? In response to user reports, we have disabled some features such as comments, sharing, and suggested videos because this video contains content that may be inappropriate or offensive to some audiences. Okay, so some user, obviously hostile to Tommy, says that this is inappropriate to some audiences. Well, that can be said about literally everything. So click on it just where it says, I understand and wish to proceed. So now we see the speech, and it doesn't even matter what it is. Scroll down, and no features. No view count, no likes, no dislikes, no sharing. Click on the Go Home button, and it takes you away completely. So your two options there were to learn more about how bad Tommy... Now go back, if you can, because I want to show you... and then go back one more. I want to show you how this is done to every Tommy video. So go back one more to the Tommy channel. And by the way, you can't even get to the Tommy channel, can you? Okay, there we are. So scroll down, let's find something completely innocuous. Oh yeah, there's mine. Do you see it says Ezra Levant was barred from tweeting on Tommy? So click on that. Same thing. So that, just FYI, I know what this video is. This is when I went to Peterborough, as they call Peterborough over there. And Tommy does not appear in this video. It's got nothing to do with Tommy. I just told Tommy he could upload it to his account if he wanted. It's just me in a meeting room in a hotel just talking. Like that is all it is. So click on it. Yeah, I understand, wish to proceed. So it's a 12-minute video. It does throw to some clips, but you see, it's just me. This is actually a rebel video. I'm talking about my visit to court. There's me wandering around. There's Tommy. But it's a rebel video that I produced. There's me chatting, blah, blah, blah. And I have some clips from Tommy. Every single video, go back one more time, go back to the list of videos. So go and scroll down. I'll just make the point. I know I've already made it, but Oh yeah, Merry Christmas, everyone. That's a good one. Yeah, hey guys, Merry Christmas, everyone. Has been has been identified by the YouTube community as inappropriate. Hey guys, Merry Christmas. Okay, you can take it down. Thank you for going through that. Do you know what my point is? If it's not crystal clear, no, the YouTube community did not say those videos are inappropriate. His Merry Christmas video, his cancer charity video, my video talking about Tommy, which wasn't even a Tommy video. I just said, I made this video here at The Rebel, Tommy. You can put it up on your page if you want your viewers to see. He liked the video, I think. How is it that every single video, including completely innocuous ones, including a cancer charity one, including a Merry Christmas one, including one that I made here, were they all really deemed by the YouTube community to be inappropriate and offensive? Really? Stop lying. Don't lie. Don't lie on the internet. That's just not true. What it is that some left-wing activists demanded that Tommy himself be made persona non grata. And so anything touching on Tommy was blacked out. Good or bad, innocuous, positive, negative, neutral, whatever. And he's been essentially depersoned, not fully deleted, not absolutely deleted, as Alex Jones, for example, has been deleted from YouTube, as Tommy himself has been deleted from Facebook. But just as much, tantamount to it. And hey, has there been, and what does Tommy do? If you had to say what is Tommy, I'd say he's similar to what, I mean, he learned his journalism, I suppose, here at The Rebel. I mean, I'm not going to take full credit for it, but he was a bit of an activist beforehand, as you know, EDL and then Pegida and things like that. And a couple of years ago I said, Tommy, why don't you do videos for us all the time? They can be sort of advocacy style journalism, which is a kind of journalism, opinion journalism, advocacy journalism, activism journalism, campaign style journalism. It's what The Guardian does. He's a journalist. And he's been shut down. And where is Reporters Without Borders? Where's Amnesty International? Where's the ACLU? Where's the Canadian equivalent? Where's the British? They're nowhere. A journalist has been censored, and they actually sort of agree. That's the state of the United Kingdom. I mean, really, they might as well have just shut him down. I'm a subscriber to his channel. I can't even find it. I have to figure out how to find his stuff. I'm not getting notifications from his videos. So that's censorship, and it's fine. And the thing, they started with Alex Jones, and now they moved on to Tommy. Really, how many more trenches in this trench warfare battle before they take down Fox News or Tucker Carlson? They might think twice about doing that because that's a big company. But if you take down Tommy, including his cancer videos and his Christmas videos, you can really take down anyone. In the UK, I'm actually a little bit surprised that they haven't taken down Paul Joseph Watson, Prison Planet, who's affiliated with InfoWars. I'm surprised, actually. I'm surprised they haven't taken down Sargon of Akkad. I personally have not watched his videos, but I know he's part of the same alternative media. I'm surprised that Count Dan, maybe they have taken down Count Dankula. Come to think, I know they've demonetized him. So that's the UK, and the UK does not have the same robust protections as the First Amendment, even though the UK was the crucible of free speech, but these are American companies doing it. Don't you think that's important? That these companies are based in California. All the companies I mentioned. PayPal, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat. They're all American companies. They're all in Silicon Valley. So they're doing censorship around the world from a First Amendment jurisdiction. Why do you think they would not do that censorship in America itself? So that's my update on Tommy. I wanted to tell you about that because I find it depressing. Now, Tommy does have a website, tr.news, and our friend Avi Yamini is active on it as well. And I wish it well, but of course, YouTube is the second biggest search engine in the world. It's shareable, searchable, browsable. It's where everybody is. Forget about the monetization. It's just where things are. We ourselves are on YouTube. We have almost, 1.18 million subscribers. We get very little revenue from it. We've been throttled as well, but at least it's a voice. I mean, really, I'm surprised that we ourselves haven't been thrown down the memory hole like Tommy. Anyway, that's my update on Tommy. I find it depressing, but I haven't had a chance to address it in a show yet, so I wanted to talk about it here. And I know we have a lot of Brits who like to tune in every week, so that's my update for you. I want to take some questions now. I'm not sure if any super chats have come through. Do we still have super chats? Is that even still, do we even have that functionality? I mean, who knows? Maybe no one's just chipping in a super chat, or maybe we have been blacklisted like Tommy. Not quite as badly, of course, but first they cut off his monetization. All right, let's take a few chats and then we'll switch subjects. David T. Tommy has inspired murder in the UK. Well, that's not true. That is your malicious, baseless, defamatory opinion. Not only has he not inspired murder, but he has never been charged with incitement or any hate crime or anything of the like. So that's just a lie, but go ahead. Aylwin 1, the UK is a ticking time bomb. Our thought police are trying to keep a lid on any dissent. That's very true. I was staggered to learn, and this is a year or two ago that I learned it, that the Metropolitan Police in London have 900 police officers on the social media beat. 900 cops do nothing but, can you remember about a week or 2 weeks ago I did a monologue and I showed the cops who came to that guy's house about Brexit? Do you think we could find that one? Sorry to make you dig. Yeah, and these guys, so they literally go through Twitter and they knock on the doors of people who make mean tweets. And they sometimes they arrest, sometimes they just want to show up and scare you because you're at your house, you're tweeting either under your real name or some nickname, and suddenly ding dong, a real live cop, now they don't have guns over there, so they don't have that element of menace, but a real live cop or two shows up at your house, so they know who you are, they know where you live, and they've all of a sudden come to your house in real life, not online, to talk to you about, oi mate, where's your Twitter license, bruv? Hey, mate, where's your Twitter license? Forgive that mix of 4 different accents there. But that's really what it is. It started as a meme. Oi mate, where's your license? But it's real life. And we'll show that to you when we dig it up. AK1776 says, thank you for all your hard work and honesty in reporting the news. What's your opinion on what's going on with Assange? Well, it's funny you say that. I have a friend who is a huge Assange and WikiLeaks fan. I've been much more critical of him because of the damage he did to the U.S. military and to sources, intel sources that were revealed and identified by WikiLeaks and who were then murdered. So I've been much more critical, but I have friends who are more sympathetic to WikiLeaks. And in fact, I've been trying to get one of my friends to go over there to cover the situation. So that's not a full answer, but that's a partly answered. Proud Boys Calgary, NDP tried displaying UCP skeletons, fake and otherwise, and their own skeletons came dancing out of the closet. That's a conversation about the Alberta provincial election, which is just 11 days away now. We've got a fun clip for you about that. We'll show you later. MVP chips in 7 Australian. Did you watch footage of a trans woman being attacked by Algerians? I did see that. Yeah, It's funny because Brunei, as you know, the Sultanate of Brunei, which is a tiny little oil-rich country, is bringing in the harshest form of Sharia law. They will literally stone gay men to death now. And gay women, they'll just throw in prison. They're so enlightened that way. And I notice that Justin Trudeau, Canada's Prime Minister, who goes to every single gay pride parade in the country for a photo op, he has not even done so much as a tweet about Brunei. Some unsigned, unattributed boilerplate press release has been emitted by Canada's Foreign Policy Office with a few mild words of dissent that were not even attributed to anyone, not even to a spokesman. Neither Trudeau nor Chrystia Freeland, Canada's Foreign Minister, has said a word about Brunei, because when they say they support gay rights, sure they do, but not if it conflicts with Sharia law. I mean, they can count noses, they can do the math. Back to the, oi mate, where's your license? I want to show you a clip that some bloke in the UK recorded on his cell phone. He made some comment about Brexit. And as you know, the United Kingdom, in their largest vote in history, largest turnout in history, 17.4 million Brits voted to leave the European Union. And by that, they meant just leave. It wasn't some fancy, tricky question. They assumed you leave the EU, you leave the EU. You don't then have a bunch of weird extensions or deals. You leave. It's like a divorce. It's sad, but you're done. That's been dragged out for 2.5 years, almost 3 years. And one fella said, and by the way, they didn't leave. They were supposed to leave on March 29th. It's now April 5th. They haven't left. Imagine if an election was just ignored because the fancy people didn't like it. So one bloke on Twitter said, oi mate, wouldn't be surprised if we see some protests in the street, mate, or whatever. And the cops went to his house. Here, take a look.
As you said, it's freedom of speech.
Right.
It's more about the content of what you've put.
So what have you got a problem with?
Some comment that you said you're going to drag somebody out of an office, an MP, you're going to drag her out of an office onto the street and question.
Based on a hypothetical situation.
Yeah, but all I'm asking, I'm not saying you can't use it, or you shouldn't be using it. I'm just asking you to be mindful about what you're putting on there.
All right.
In case it's deemed as inciting.
Yeah, let's put the situation into context, right? So, based on something that may or may not happen, an action could be taken, right? So how can you have a problem with that?
I'm not saying we've got a problem with it. Being asked, you aware, that your comments are visible online and we can...
Oh, I know that. I've been doing it for, 20 years?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you've got every right to do that. I've not got
So why are you here then?
Because I've just explained that to you.
You haven't.
It's the fact of what you said, and then you said, I can't do this alone.
Yeah.
Who wants to join me?
Right.
So it can be seen as sort of inciting something to happen.
Inciting what? Inciting something based on an outcome that hasn't yet even been visualised. No one knows whether it's going to happen or not.
But it's
if the government betrays the people, do you really think that I'm going to be the only one?
Stephen, I'm not going to get into the debate or arguments.
Well, this is what I'm getting into. This is what I'm getting into, because we need to get into it. Because if you,
all right, I won't make you watch the whole thing. It's not even the point. The point is, there's a guy who's saying, hypothetically, if the democracy is denied and the referendum is disabled, you'll have, he sounds like he used the phrase, drag politicians into the street in a hypothetical situation. The cops said he didn't break the law. The cops said they were not there to arrest him, but they were there to harass him, hassle him, debate him. Oi, bruv, where's your license for saying that? Well, when you have 900 police, and that's just in the Metropolitan Police, just in London, and there are these police all across the UK, in Bedfordshire, which is where Tommy lives. I follow the Bedfordshire cops online. They have this phrase, they call it cohesion. That's the phrase they use. Oi, mate, yeah, it might have been legal, mate, but it's not good for cohesion. Forgive the terrible accent, I'm out of practice. Cohesion means everyone just shut up and get along and go along. Lack of cohesion is, oh, you said something that someone might not like, maybe me, the cop, maybe basically giving a veto to the thinnest skinned person in the room. That's what these cohesion forces are. They're police, by the way. They're police, actual cops, but they're in the cohesion unit. That's a true story. So that's the UK. I see a couple more super chats. Keith McIntosh, what's your percent estimation that Justin is doing everything possible to shut down SNC trial due to nefarious under-the-table cash deals that he doesn't want to see the light of day, like Marini Schreiber? I actually addressed that in my show last night, and I think that is a serious chance. I think Occam's razor, the simplest answer, is usually the right one, and I think the simplest answer is that Justin Trudeau never apologizes, ever. He doesn't apologize for himself, that is. He apologizes for what other people do. So those are ironic apologies. I apologize for what Stephen Harper did. He was wrong, and I'm so right for telling you he's wrong. And thus, this apology is actually me having a very elaborate virtue signal, because the primary message is that I'm right. The secondary message is I'm apologizing for some loser who got it right. So Justin Trudeau does a tearful apology about once a month, but never for himself. Justin Trudeau is incapable of apologizing for himself. So I actually think that's the primary motivator here. But it is very likely that there is some detail they don't want to come out. If a company like SNC Lavalin, much like their fellow Quebec champion Bombardier, is bribing officials all around the world, including bribing the Montreal Hospital contract, bribing Montreal Bridge contract, do you really think it's a stretch that they bribed a Quebec Liberal? And that is what Justin Trudeau is. Take some more super chats. T. Dyler Dunbrack, Canada's Tommy is Tom Quiggin, but nobody mentions him or the work he does. I'm familiar with Tom Quiggin. I don't think I've actually interviewed him. I do see his stuff on Twitter and some other places, but you're incorrect to compare him to Tommy for this reason. Tommy is not primarily a researcher, and he has not historically even been primarily a journalist. He is an activist who hasn't just felt the slings and arrows of debate, but rather has been imprisoned, I don't know what, half a dozen times, for either outright political crimes, like doing journalism outside a rape gang trial in Leeds, or in trumped up cases designed to silence his journalism. As Tommy points out, when he did time for mortgage fraud, and that sounds terrifying, oh, mortgage fraud, what, did he steal money? Well, what he did is I'm trying to remember the details, he loaned money to his brother-in-law that his brother-in-law said, that's my deposit. Frankly, I think probably most people wouldn't even know that that's against the law, and frankly, I think a lot of people probably do that. They say that family money is their money to get a down payment. I've never heard of anyone going to prison for that. And the political nature of that imprisonment was evident when his bail conditions were he can't hang out with his English Defence League buddies. Well, hang on, I thought you said this was a mortgage fraud issue, and you're saying to get out on parole, he has to agree not to talk about politics? I thought you said this was a mortgage fraud crime. So you should read Tommy's biography. Amazingly, Amazon.ca has not taken it off their website yet. You can no longer get Tommy's book about the Quran on Amazon, but you can get his autobiography. Let me see if there is Penny H. Why does Ryan Jesperson have such a hatred for the Rebel and Rebel listeners? Shocked the other day how he called the Rebel a really degrading name in reference to Sheila Gunn Reid reports on Omar Khadr buying a mall. I've talked to Ryan Jesperson once, I think, and here's what I know. We get about 10 million views a month on our YouTube channel. Sometimes it's more, sometimes it's less. Some of our individual videos get 1 million views. We've had videos get 5 million views. I see there's 467 people watching now, which is not particularly large. But we have built the Rebel up. We have, 20 odd staff in Toronto and around the world. And all of it done by the grace of our viewers. We're crowdfunded. We get almost nothing through advertising. We have no government benefactor. We have no corporate benefactor. We really are user-driven. So that's real life. We are the largest news source in Alberta. Ryan Jesperson sees that and doesn't have that. He doesn't have 500,000 listeners a day. He doesn't have a support base of 3.4 million people as we do here in our database. So I think a lot of it's jealousy of our success, Sheila Gunn Reid's success, and in particular, she now has 3 best-selling books, and she breaks huge stories about the NDP. And when did he ever do that? So I think a lot of it's jealousy, especially Sheila Gunn Reid, because she's just a severely normal mum of 3 who's become the leading journalist in Alberta when you measure in one of 2 ways. Who's the best-selling political author of all time in Alberta? Sheila Gunn Reid, 3 #1 books. Who's the reporter who in the last 4 years has broken more stories about the NDP than any other reporter in Alberta? Sheila Gunn Reid. What is the network that has more viewers on, not every day on every story, but quite often has more viewers than any other media source in Alberta? The Rebel. So I think jealousy explains a lot of it, and just ideological differences. I love the fact that they talk about us. I'm guessing you've never heard me use the word Ryan Jesperson before, but it sounds like he sure talks about us a lot. I think there's one more super chat. Let me find it here. I read Tyler Dunbrack. I think I might have missed it. Can you email me the super chat I missed? Let me just check. I think I missed one. Let me make sure I got it here. Here we go. Dion Dwaron says, do you think Trudeau will call an early election due to his rapidly declining popularity numbers from the SNC Lavalin scandal and booting MPs? That's a really good question. I think he might. Liberals have been known to do that before. I know that Jean Chrétien did that against Stockwell Day once to catch him off guard. I think it would look so bad, and he's in the soup so deeply right now, it would truly make it an election about SNC Lavalin. And I don't think he wants that. All right, let's check the clock. It's 12:33. I see there's some other chat comments there. I see someone just said that Tommy has been taken off. Abigail Grady, Tommy Robinson has now been banned completely on YouTube. Breaking news. I'm skeptical, Abigail, because we showed his account 20 minutes ago, and it's still up. Is that right? Yeah, sorry, Abigail, I think you're wrong. I think you're having the same problem I had, which is you can't find it because they've hidden it. I think you should go back and watch this once it's uploaded as a permanent video. I showed how you have to find it, because if you just type it in the search engine, it will not show you. And his videos don't come up in searches. You have to find it as if you're a subscriber to it. It's tantamount to being banned. You're correct in that regard. All right, well, we talked about Tommy. We talked a little bit about, I mentioned Ryan Jesperson in answer to a question. I want to show you, Joe Biden, because this whole Me Too movement, 90% of the people caught up in it have been Democrats. Why? Well, because they're male feminists. Okay, what does that mean? It's people who say they're feminists, who shout about being feminists, who never shut up about being feminists. And normal people don't do that, so why would you do that? Well, it's because you're not a feminist, so you have to say you are, and you're doing it to cover up something, to preempt something, to set the context so that no one would ever accuse you of being a serial groper. I want to show you some of the highlights, or lowlights if you prefer, of creepy Joe Biden. Take a look.
Spread your legs, you're going to be frisked.
Drop your hands. You say that to somebody in North Dakota, they think it's a frisk. Drop your hands to the side, you know. They think you're in trouble, right? The Republican Party is a Democratic Party. And today is a really special day.
Thanks to give out here. First and foremost to my perfect wife, Stephanie, my wonderful son, Will, and my daughter, Ava, already mentioned.
Can I have one with Jess alone?
Very good.
It's so clear the American public has embraced this grinning, approachable, unstoppable life force known as Vice President Joe Biden.
One of the most dedicated public servants, one of the most successful public servants I've ever had the pleasure to serve with during my time in Washington.
If you don't love Joe Biden, it is time for some serious introspection.
He always made you feel that you were welcome.
You genuinely listen to people. You ask them questions, and then you lift them up.
Taking a selfie with White Tiger in New York.
Hey, Charlie, give him that cute smile.
Bears. I need a hug, kid. Come on. I need a hug. God love you.
It's your reputation.
Kind of tough.
15. Remember, no serious guys in your 30s.
I like that.
That's it. What I like most is getting to see their children and their parents, particularly their moms and dads. When I reenact the swearing in the old Senate chamber, where their whole families are able to be there and stand with them as I reenact the swearing in, it's a moment of real joy. It has nothing to do with Republican and Democrat. It has to do with having the opportunity to actually join this.
It goes on for quite a bit. That's a great highlight reel, and that goes on for a bit. There's another one I saw about a year ago that's just pure interactions. It doesn't have the lighthearted commentary. We won't dig it up now. But he has a line that he uses with young girls, which is don't go out on any dates with guys. Like, he talks about dating guys who would take advantage of them. He says this to girls as young as like 10. He says, you're too pretty to have a boyfriend. Or like he says, I don't know if you can even find that, Justin. Like, he has this line he uses again and again about don't date boys. When he gets right up, like he's whispering, but it's caught on camera, caught on microphone, telling girls 11, 12 that they're sexy enough to date, but they shouldn't date, as in, I'm putting a marker down because I'm the alpha male here. It's super, super creepy. And I've been thinking about it because it's something that Justin Trudeau does too. We've shown you before. We've shown you still images of Justin Trudeau doing the full body hugs. Like, it was sort of gross to see Joe Biden do the hug with Hillary Clinton there. I'll explain why that is, why he does that in a moment. But to me, the fact that he does it to the young girls especially is the grossest. But I think the main commonality between Joe Biden and Justin Trudeau getting really handsy and really into the personal space of women is this. And this is a theory that I shared today with David Menzies, and you tell me what you think. I don't know what Joe Biden and Justin Trudeau do in private with women. We do know that in the case of Rose Knight, Justin Trudeau sexually assaulted her in the year 2000 in the town of Creston, BC. She said so. He more or less admitted it by apologizing to her. Even the New York Times says so. But I think there's something powerful and terrifying and premeditated about how Trudeau and Biden grope women in public. Why would he do that? He's obviously not trying to get away with it if he's doing it in public when he knows a camera is on, right? So why is he doing that? Like, why would he manhandle these girls in a public place. I hear in my ear that we have one clip. Let's just play it and see what it is. Let's take a look.
He then poses with the girl for a photo while putting...
I didn't quite catch it, but... that's a quote. I mean, that's from a Paul Joseph Watson. No serious guys till you're 30. It's a weird statement to make. He's telling that to young girls. Why is he? What's he doing? And Justin Trudeau. Did you want to just throw up some pictures, the ones we always show of Trudeau getting really, really close to these women? And bear with me here. Yeah, I mean that's sort of close. Look at that. Would you? That one. That's Jody Wilson-Raybould. These are all cabinet ministers. That's a chest-to-chest hug. Would you hug someone like that who wasn't your personal mate? And look at that. That's the Governor General at the time. So hold this up on the screen for a bit. Hold this up on the screen. So that's Justin Trudeau at the cabinet swearing in of Christy Duncan, the science minister, whatever that means. And they're chest-to-chest, absolutely. Look at the grasping hug. They're cheek-to-cheek and chest-to-chest. And the Governor General is smiling at this. And this is obviously in a public event. So on the one hand, you might be thinking, is Trudeau trying to get away with something? If he's trying to get away with something, why is he doing it in public? Not just in public in general, but at this key moment. And that's the thing with the Joe Biden clips. They're always at some ceremony, some highlight of the life of these women. Why does he always grope women, not men, both Biden and Trudeau? And why the focus on this key ceremony of their life? And again, if you were a married man, and if I don't think Christy Duncan in this case is married, but some of the other women were, is that how you greet someone? You're married, they're married. Again, I don't think Christy Duncan here is married. Is that how you greet them? If you work in an office, if you work in a bank, if you work in a law firm, is that how you? And that's her boss. That's the key part. That's her boss. Is that how you greet a boss? Well, yes, it is, and let me explain why. You can take the photo down now. Thank you. He is imprinting on her at that moment. I'm your boss in every way. Whatever you have today on this greatest day of your life, being sworn into cabinet, is because of me, the great giver. Never forget that. And as a sign that I am the alpha and you are submissive and subordinate to me, on what should be about you, a day of your accomplishment, your achievement, your independence, your success, I will show that you are submissive to me by congratulating you not warmly. I know how to congratulate. Amazing. Good job. Do a double handshake. That's how he would do it with a guy. But with these women, he goes in for a hug that is so close. I bet you no other man in their professional life hugs them. Now, put up the Christy Duncan photo. Yeah. Do you think that she hugs other men in her life like that? That's Chrystia Freeland. I think she's a second-rate cabinet minister myself. But do you think that other men, do you think she greets other men like that? I don't think so. Trudeau does it to every woman who works for him. Why? Precisely because it's not normal. It's invasive. It's a closeness that only her husband or boyfriend or some family members would legitimately have. But he is saying, I'll invade your personal space if I damn well want. I'll have a body-to-body hug with you if I damn well want. I'll touch my face to yours if I damn well want. I'll hug you with my arms around you if I damn well want. Because I'm putting a marker down here that I'm the boss of everything you are. And the reason he does that in public is precisely to imprint that moment as not a moment of their own personal achievement as successful professional women. but to imprint on their minds in that moment that they have anything and everything only because of his graciousness and his generosity. And I've got to imagine the first time a woman is hugged that way by a stranger, let alone their boss, is shocking. That would be shocking. You're a professional woman, you've worked hard, you've won your election, you've been appointed to cabinet. This is the apex of your career life, your professional life, and you go and it's your swearing in and the Governor General's there and the cameras are there and your family's there, and it's this perfect moment, a moment of your achievement. And in that moment, Justin Trudeau comes in and gives you a close personal hug. In that moment, Joe Biden comes in and gives you a hair sniff and touches you, and he always touches the girls right close to their chest, doesn't he? Why is he doing that? Why is he doing that in public? Because in that second of surprise, look at that, hold that, this is perfect. So what is he doing touching a woman like that? Would you touch a woman like that? And he's not even close to these women here. He's just presiding over, maybe this is a Christmas party, but maybe this, usually he's touching them at some swearing in. Would you touch a woman like that who wasn't your wife or girlfriend or family member? He's doing that because it's such a shock. It's so gross, it's so over the top, it's so inappropriate, but precisely because the cameras are rolling, these women or girls, look at that. He's got the Trudeau full body hug, chest to chest. Maybe even pelvis to pelvis, I don't know. In that moment, these women and girls have a choice to make. Do they push him away like that, like they would do to some stranger at a bar? Like they would do to a colleague at work? Like just some guy on the street or someone you met just casually? The instinct you would have in private is to push them away. What are you doing? What are you doing? In fact, there was I saw, yeah, look at that. You can sort of see she's cringy. What are you doing touching my, what are you doing whispering in my ear, sniffing my hair, touching my shoulders like that? What are you doing? This is the most important day of my husband's life. I think it was her husband. Why are you doing this to me? And why are you then patting my shoulders and gripping me like that? And look, he goes in to touch her. Why did he do that? Because just to say, it's okay, he's being weird, it's okay, just don't freak out, okay? Don't freak out, okay? Because that was a freaky, creepy moment. And in a way, it's a dare. Because if that woman were to do what she normally should do, and say, you're gross, well then that would destroy this magical moment in her life, or in this case, her husband's life. And so I conclude by telling you it is an absolute pickup artist manipulation move. I'm going to do something so inappropriate to you, we both know it's inappropriate, but you're going to panic and you're going to accept it, because if you don't, you're the one who's going to make a stink on your magic day. That's the truth. All right. There's a super chat there. Let me take a look at it. Basil says, people, don't forget Trudeau wants to ban our handguns and semi-autos. They are ramming Bill C-71 through the Senate at light speed. What can you do? Vote Conservative this October, and if you can, join the Canadian Coalition for Firearm Rights, aka CCFR. Oh yeah, I mean it's perennial with the Liberals. They always want to take away firearms. They always do so in the name of controlling urban crime. Urban crime is not done with long arms, not done with shotguns or rifles. It's all done with handguns, which have been banned in Canada effectively for almost a century. And most of the guns are illegal to begin with, smuggled across from the United States. Another layer of banning isn't going to ban them. It's a cultural war against rural and Western and farmers and duck hunters. It's a cultural war, of course it is. And it's a placebo. It's pretending to do something about crime, which they cannot do and they don't know how to do. All right, it's 12:50. I promised you I would show you an interaction between our Alberta reporter in Calgary, Kian Bexty, and an actual communist who's running for office in Alberta. Do we have that clip? Let's start from the beginning. It's too long to play the whole thing, but I think it's a fun one. Take a look.
Hi, Anne. Would you mind if I asked you a quick question?
Who are you?
My name's Kian. I'm with The Rebel.
Oh, no, I'm not talking to The Rebel.
I'm wondering if you can tell me, do you regret running as a communist?
I'm not talking to The Rebel.
So you don't regret running as a communist?
I'm not talking to The Rebel.
Can you tell me why you ran as a communist?
I'm not talking to The Rebel.
Do you think that the residents of Calgary Varsity know that you're a communist?
I'm not talking to The Rebel.
Do you think it should be treasonous to run as a communist during the Cold War?
I think that you should be registered as a third party because you're not an actual media outlet, so I'm not talking to you.
So you don't want to tell the residents of Calgary Varsity why you ran as a communist candidate?
I'm not talking to The Rebel. The Rebel is not a media organization.
Okay, well, I think that communism isn't a reasonable ideology to run under. Do you think that capitalists should all burn still?
Please go away. Please go away.
Do you think that capitalists should all burn?
Please go away.
I just want to know the
Go
answer.
away.
It's simple questions.
Go
Do you think
away.
that the media has given you reasonable scrutiny for your
Go
past?
away. Go away. I'm not talking to The Rebel.
Has any other media organization asked?
I'm going to call the police.
Okay, we're in public, so I'm allowed to ask you these questions.
No, you're not.
I'm not allowed to ask you questions.
Not on a sidewalk when I've told you I'm not talking to you. This is harassment.
It's not harassment. You're a public figure and a communist who wants to represent Albertans.
This is harassment.
It's not harassment. It's reasonable questions. I just want to know why you're a communist.
No, I'm just going to call the police.
You're calling the police because I'm asking you why you're a communist.
Because you're harassing me on the sidewalk.
You can go to your car, you can leave.
Calgary. Police, please.
Are you guys comfortable volunteering for a communist?
It goes on. It was great. There's a few things that come to mind. First of all, she was talking to The Rebel. She wouldn't stop talking to The Rebel. I'm not talking to The Rebel. Hey, I'm going to keep talking to you for 5 more minutes. I'm going to say I'm not talking to you, but I won't stop talking to you. I thought that was very funny. Kian is right. If you're a public person on a public sidewalk, you don't have an expectation of privacy. And if you're in the middle of a campaign and a reporter asks you a question, you don't have the right to say you're banned or blocked. And she called the police and she called the 911 number. She didn't just call a general clerk. She called like the emergency. You'll notice that the first question she was asked is, if you've ever called 911, you know they say, 911, do you need police, ambulance, or fire, or whatever they say. So she quickly said, police. So she's calling the most emergent, rapid response. She's tying up the 911 number. 911 because a reporter didn't raise his voice, Kian didn't raise his voice, didn't threaten her anyway, didn't physically touch her in any way, just asked her fair enough question. Or even if they were unfair questions, who cares? You can ask questions. You can even ask unfair questions in a democracy. And what was the total length of the interaction before she called 911? I didn't time it. I'm going to guess it was 90 seconds. Imagine that, 90 seconds. And she never shut up, by the way. She never stopped talking. It was a conversation. It was a weird conversation. But, I mean, frankly, if she was smart, she would have just said, I'm not talking to The Rebel, and then not talk to The Rebel, and then just got on with door knocking, and I don't think Kian would have gone on to private property. But she couldn't help herself. She actually called 911, and I won't show you how the video ends. You can find the whole thing on our website. Police did show. Actually, can you scroll ahead? Can you find where the cops do show up? Because they say very quickly, yeah, you haven't done anything wrong. No, we're not arresting you. We're not charging you. We're just here. Because that was a new Democrat, a socialist, a communist, who thought the police would be like the police are in the former Soviet Union. I mean, it's one thing to be a communist. I think that's terrible. I think it's really in many ways tantamount to being a Nazi. In fact, I think if you just do the raw math, communists have killed more people than Nazis have. But to be a communist in the year 2019, I mean, I suppose you could be like some Marxist professor, but that woman, Anne McGrath, was a communist who ran for the communists during the Cold War. So you're basically saying I am an enemy of my own people during this Cold War. Just incredible. Basil has another super chat. Thank you for sticking up for conservatives, he says. We got here. Here's how the cops came. Seem like good guys. Take a look.
Hey there.
Are you Kieran?
I'm Kian.
Kian, sorry. How are you doing today?
Good, how are you? My hands are a little bit cold.
That's all right. So,
hey.
We got a call from Anne McGrath.
Yeah.
We got her side story, just trying to get your side story.
Yeah, so I got in my car, I came onto the sidewalk, it's all on tape, and I started asking her questions. She was actually a communist candidate back in the 1900s during the Cold War, and I thought that I could ask her some questions about her candidacy. She's running in the election, as you know. And then she said I was harassing her and called you. It was an interaction that was less than 5 minutes, I would imagine. I didn't follow her anywhere. I didn't leave this place. So, is it a crime to ask politicians questions?
Oh, no, we come talk to you.
Yeah, no, I appreciate
right?
I appreciate you guys following up.
Based on even the information that she's told us, there's nothing criminal.
Yeah, a very friendly conversation, lasts about a minute. The cops were I think they were perfect. I watched that and I thought they were friendly. They came and checked it out. Maybe they were bored. I'm glad there was not some major crime that was going on that we know of or some major emergency that they were pulled away from. Maybe they were just bored. But Anne McGrath, even though she's not an MLA right now, she has a senior position with Rachel Notley. And I wonder, and you heard the first thing the cop said, Anne McGrath called us. I wonder if they would have come so quickly if it was not a politically connected person like her. I don't know. But what I do know, and what we all now know, is that Anne McGrath still has those authoritarian, totalitarian instincts that she'll literally call 911 on a reporter after 2 minutes of a conversation that was, I would say maybe hostile substantively, but it was not aggressive or threatening. Keane was right. She could have left at any time, to her car, to a house, whatever. She does not have the ability to kick someone off a sidewalk, and she thinks she does. And can you imagine if such a person were to win an election? What a horror show. That's what's going on in Alberta these days. That's the election out there. Well, we've got through some of our vids that I didn't really show a lot of the Trudeau stuff. It's 12:58. We have 2 minutes left. I think I'm going to take a few. We have some fun videos, but I don't want to start a new tangent when we just got 2 minutes left in the show. Let me. Yeah, I see there's some fun comments here. Yvonne Short says wasting cops' time. Exactly, but she doesn't care about that. She thinks the cops are there to serve her political interests, as they were in the Soviet Union. MFR says cops are usually pretty good on camera. Well, that's why I support those body cams by cops. It makes everyone on better behavior. It makes the cops on better behavior. It makes the citizens on better behavior, because everyone knows this might be shown in public, this might be shown in court, so I'd better be well behaved. And Kean was well behaved. I'm just looking some more. Rami Tobinson, police need more powers. Well, I don't even know what that means. I think that our police have as many powers now as they've had in decades or centuries. There are a few more restrictions on police in terms of self-crimination and habeas corpus, but really some of those go back 800 years now to the Magna Carta. I don't think police need more powers. I think politicians use little crises as an excuse to get more police powers for collateral purposes. We don't need more police powers to shut down journalists, do we? But really, in a way, that's what we saw in the UK, those cops coming to that guy's house. What a difference. So let me answer. You said generally cops are the good guys. I think you're right. But I showed you about 45 minutes ago a couple of cops showing up at some guy's house in the UK because he did a Brexit tweet they didn't like. How much time is there between these good Calgary cops who were laughing at the whole thing to those political cops in Britain that I showed you going to some guy's house because he tweeted without a license. Well, folks, that's the show for today. It's 1 p.m. Eastern Time, 5 p.m. GMT. Time for me to sign off. If you want to watch my show tonight, it's on every night at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. It's a more produced show. Tonight I talk about the economy, the massive job numbers that the United States had last month, 196,000 new jobs, whereas Canada, well, it won't surprise you to know we lost jobs last month. Until then, on behalf of all of us here at Rebel World Headquarters, to you at home, goodbye, and keep fighting for freedom.